Well, this Saturday, Jack Nicklaus and Tom Watson will be among the stars playing at St. Augustine in a very special event. Some of the great names in the sport team up in pairs to compete in the tournament that launched the Senior PGA Tour. The Liberty Mutual Legends of Golf this Saturday, 1 o'clock Eastern, 3 Pacific, here on ABC. So with Tony Stewart going a lap down, there are 10 cars on the lead lap.
This is Jerry Cope going on the bottom of the racetrack as he goes, bam, he goes by a slower car. Here comes Terry Labonte on the inside. The Kellogg's car goes by. The 4 car of Hamilton goes by. And here comes the second place car of Bobby Labonte by.
On board with Bobby Labonte. And Stewart, since he just lost the lap now, decides to come in for a pit stop. Bill Weber, he's coming toward you.
Well, Tony Stewart limps down pit road with 172 laps on the board. He believes he has a tire going down. The crew very disappointed here. Let's see if they decide to change all 4. They do the right side first. They will do all 4. So Tony apparently not certain at this point which one it was. So the 4-tire stop, and they've had a very long day for a very promising team.
How about that 15.1? I mean, the best number I've ever seen in one of our time pit stops.
Tony Stewart finished 4th in the point standings in his rookie year last year, is currently 4th here in the year 2000. A year ago at this time, he was 25th in the point standings, so he is 21 better than last year. Here once again is the leader, Mike Skinner. Last lap at 179.883 miles an hour.
Which was faster than second and third place cars, Labonte and Gordon, and also Earnhardt. Mike Skinner, Larry McReynolds have really worked. They have a terrific setup on this number 31 car today.
Let's go to this NASCAR 2000 moment, brought to you by Home Depot, live from Atlanta Motor Speedway. Here's Jerry Punch.
High speeds on the racetrack are the result of some significant technology, very sophisticated when it comes to chassis. But the high speeds on pit road in changing tires are just simple common sense. Let me show you how you put a tire on very quickly. They already have the lug nuts in place. Now what Walter Smith is doing here, he's the jackman for Steve Park's car number 1. He takes a silicone weather stripping adhesive here in his right hand and puts it around the bottom of a lug nut. They basically glue these lug nuts on so that when the wheel is put up on the studs, all 5 lug nuts are in place. Now, occasionally in very, very cold weather, that glue may become very brittle. That's why they will use what I'm holding in my hand. As opposed to what he's using, they will use a sticky little foam circle. They put that on the back of the lug nut and will put it down, and it will stick on the wheel. Sometimes they use the glue, sometimes they use the foam circle. Now some teams don't like the foam because they consider the fact that the glue or stickiness on that little piece of foam can actually gum up the stud and create a problem during pit stops. But it's very simple. Lug nuts are already on the wheel as it goes on the car. That's why we see those 16-second stops for 4 tire changes.
Simple technology in a very complicated world, Ray, but I remember you saying I believe at Las Vegas last week that one of the problems with the cold weather is the glue that they use on the lug nuts.
Those guys really have to know what they're doing with that, because if they glue them up too early, the glue does get brittle, just like Jerry said, and the lugs will break off and fall. The other thing is, Jerry touched on exactly, if you put too much glue, it gets caught up in the threads. After 4 or 5 pit stops, the new lug nuts don't want to go on.
I'll never forget the first time I saw those lug nuts glued on the wheels to make a pit stop. It was the early 70s, and a boy named Don Lawrence with Mario Rossi's team. Bobby Allison as the driver came to the pit crew championship, Unocal pit crew championship at Rockingham, and did that for the first time. I mean, folks on pit road were flabbergasted how simple it was, what we'd never thought of.
Yep. Well, the number 93 car of Dave Blaney is on pit road, 24th position. He was before coming in, some 2 laps down. The crew going to work on the right side of that car, now coming over to the left side.
The jackman got the car up. We met his dad at the Charlotte airport on Thursday morning as we were flying down to Atlanta, and he lets the car down, and away they go.
20.3 seconds. Meanwhile, Bill Weber, I'm sorry, on pit road.
Well, here it is, the right front tire. They just laid this tire down for us. The right front tire on Tony Stewart's car has a very small cut in it. It's right here, hard to see, but it looks basically like you took your thumbnail, maybe you stuck it into like a pie crust. That's all it takes. A little cut, right front tire. Tony felt it. He came in. He's got 4 tires. They told his teammate Bobby Labonte so he'd be aware of the situation.
Crash behind you, crash behind you.
Over on the backstretch, Scott Pruitt into the wall.
I don't know about that, Bob. I don't see a lot of damage. He might not have. Well, he did hit the wall on the left side. Sorry.
Yeah, the left rear tore up too there, Benny.
Sorry. And Mike Skinner said, doggone it, I had such a lead. That's 6 seconds, which right now is going to be 6 feet when Labonte closes up on the back bumper of me.
But it will give everybody an opportunity to come in for some fresh tires.
And those guys that just made a pit stop, like Dave Blaney, he's saying, doggone, my timing is just, as always, perfect.
This caution coming out on lap 183. It's our 4th caution of the afternoon, and there is the damage on the left side of the Tide ride for Scott Pruitt. Let's take a look and see what happened up in turn number 2.
Wow.
From Rusty Wallace's view, and now from Mark Martin's perspective.
Well, don't you know they get concerned when they see that smoke and those cars light up, and watch as the car comes across the racetrack, and Mark said, I've committed to the inside. I just hope he doesn't come down too soon.
Pruitt's car limps back toward pit road. Meanwhile, the field is bunched up behind the pace car, and pit road is now open, and so here come those on the lead lap. Only 10 on the lead lap at the moment. Skinner, Labonte. Here comes Jeff Gordon, Dale Earnhardt, down to John Kernan.
Dale Earnhardt's crew waiting for him to come in. 1 pit stall away. He'll go in. It'll be a 4-tire change. He and car owner Richard Childers talked it over. They decided to not make any adjustments to the car. It's pretty good. Let's go down to Bobby Labonte's pit and Bill Weber.
Very quietly, this is one of the best pit crews on the 18 car on pit road. Up on the air pressures, track bar adjustment for Bobby Labonte. He said it's like driving on 4 flat tires after you've been out there for a while. To Jerry Punch.
Skinner, Labonte, and Gordon, all 3 on the pit. Skinner down and away. Bobby Labonte scoots back. Great pit stop for the Interstate Batteries crew. And Gordon in the car number 21 in the Chevrolet heads down pit road. 4 tires for the leader, Mike Skinner. Very minimal, I should say very minimal, air pressure change.
And see, both Skinner and Jeff Gordon both that time had slow pit stops, folks. Used to 19, 20-second pit stops were good. Anymore, that's about 3 seconds slow. And the 17 car of Matt Kenseth pitted too soon.
Yeah, he's a couple of laps down, but did come in with those on the lead lap.
I'm assuming that he had something he wanted to do down there. That's why he came in too soon. Bill Weber?
Yeah, Benny, remember we talked about the overheating problem they were having. He does have a water pressure and a water temperature gauge in that car. He was overheating. It was up to 275. Robbie Reiser said they got it down to around 220, but he didn't know how long it was going to last. They had to come down and try and work on it again. They couldn't wait.
So Kenseth back on the racetrack, but a couple of laps down here to the competition. Our 4th caution of the afternoon is waving over Atlanta Motor Speedway. This one brought out by a spin and contact with the wall up in turn 2 by Scott Pruitt. Back after these messages and a word from our ABC stations.